She was saying, "Our mama don't we glory." I mean, glory don't our mama because our mama got a job. Glorilla's brother just broke his silence and leaked files that could end everything. A gun on a teenager. $500,000 in hidden receipts. Siblings calling each other snakes. And Tory Lanez sending cash from behind bars. This family war just exposed everything the industry tried to bury. The receipts war. All right. So, look, I need everybody to lock in right now because what I'm about to lay down for y'all is not your regular run-of-the-mill celebrity family drama. Now, this ain't no little petty back and forth that blows over in a weekend. What we're talking about right here is a full-scale, no-holds-barred family war that's been cooking behind closed doors for 4 straight years. And when that pot finally boiled over onto the internet, it sent shockwaves through the entire hip-hop game. And the wildest part about all of it, both sides pulled up with the smoke. Both sides pulled up with receipts. And by the time the dust settled, the truth turned out to be way messier and way more complicated than anybody on the outside looking in could have ever imagined. So, let me run this back for y'all real quick. February 4th, 2026. That's the day Victoria Woods, who goes by Scarface Woods on the internet, the big sister of Memphis rapper Glorilla, decided she was absolutely done keeping quiet. She had been holding in 4 years' worth of frustration. 4 years of scrolling through Instagram, watching her little sister Gloria Hallelujah Woods stack bag after bag after bag from hit records, fat endorsement deals, sold-out tours, and collabs with some of the biggest names in the rap game. And according to Victoria, through all of that, not one real dollar had trickled back down to the family that was right there in those Memphis trenches, struggling alongside Gloria when they ain't have nothing. Victoria hopped on Facebook Live and she went all the way off. No filter, no holding back. She accused Glorilla of straight-up abandoning their family despite sitting on millions, claiming their mama, a woman who's been punching the clock at FedEx for over 20 years, is still grinding every single day, still drowning in $2, $400 a month rent, and that Victoria personally had to come out of pocket $18,000 just to keep a roof over the family's head. She said Glorilla switched her number up, blocked the family from hitting her line, and basically went ghost on the people who were right there suffering with her. You will sit here, see your sibling, we all struggling, and you still not do nothing. Because the struggle was so hard. It was so I'm talking about like it was, bro, there's my sister. Ain't no clouds chasing. We got the same mom, same daddy. There's not no clouds chasing. And then Victoria took that energy straight to the biggest platform she could get on. She slid on TMZ Live, doubled down on every single thing she said, and told the whole world point blank that Glorilla got an obligation to break bread with the family. She asked for just $500 a head, which for all 10 siblings would only run $2 to $500. And she put that number out there to show the world she wasn't on no greedy type timing at all. Let's say she has $2 million. How much of that does she owe to you and the rest of the family of that $2 million? She can get all of like $2,500 apiece. How much $2,500? 25. Like how for that's it? Just $2,500 flat, or is that a $2,500 flat? I think Glow. I think she would jump at that. I think if that's all you want, I think Glow might jump at that. Let's start with just your grievance that you feel that your sister has an obligation to share the wealth. Yeah. She got an obligation to share the wealth. We sat here. We struggled together. Took bags and balls of water. Rest bros, all that. Yeah. She obligated. Now, here's where the whole thing really got turned upside down. Because while Victoria was out there on every blog, every platform, every live painting Glorilla as this ice-cold bread-stacking celebrity who dipped on her own blood, the rest of the Woods family had a whole different story to tell. And trust me when I say this, they were not about to let Victoria run that narrative unchecked. Glorilla herself clapped back, but she did it real smooth, real calculated. She ain't go on no screaming rant. She ain't hop on live cursing Victoria out. Nah. Instead, she dropped screenshots on her Instagram stories showing text messages straight from their own mama, thanking her for the financial support and calling her a blessing. Those receipts hit Victoria's whole story like a wrecking ball because they came directly from the one person whose word carries the most weight in this whole situation, they mama. On top of that, she started reposting memes clowning entitlement, joked about cash-apping anyone who reports Victoria's page, and even shared Indeed. Com job links like, yo, Go get you some bread instead of begging for mine. That was low-key savage. But the real haymakers, those came from Glorilla's other siblings. Her brother and sister, who'd been living with her down in the A, went live and they dismantled Victoria's entire story brick by brick. They put it on everything that Glorilla blessed their mama with $500, $0, coped her a house and bought their pops a whip. They said Globy randomly sliding her siblings a band out of nowhere just to make sure everybody's straight. She was saying our mama don't with Gloria. I mean, glory mama because our mama got a job. Like, having a job is a bad thing. Then folks saying, go rid of mama's job. Glor mama having a job is crazy. What's wrong with having a job? They said she funds dreams, cops, music equipment for siblings trying to come up and puts non-toxic family members in cribs, whips, and real opportunities. The picture they were painting was a whole 180 from the story Victoria was selling. The way they told it, Glorilla holds down everybody who keeps it 100 with her and don't move bogus. And then this, the part that had the whole internet shook. Those same siblings started airing out Victoria's real history. And dog, it was ugly. They called her a straight-up pathological liar, who'd been robbing the family for years, setting Glorilla up in sketchy situations, snitching to the police and getting their own mama locked up and letting bum dudes into the family crib, who ended up burglarizing the whole joint. They said Victoria got put in foster care not because of anything Glorilla did. Nah. It was because of Victoria's own grimy moves. And here's the bombshell that changed the whole game. A resurfaced 2015 police report showed that Victoria got booked for domestic assault after she allegedly pulled a strap on Glorilla, who was only 16 years old at the time, during a heated argument at a Memphis hotel. Court records say officers found the weapon stashed outside, based on the victim saying Victoria threatened to shoot her. And right there, everything clicked into place. That's why Glorilla cut her off. That's why she changed her number. That's why Victoria couldn't get through. It wasn't because Glo was being a bougie celebrity. It's because her own big sister allegedly put a gun in her face when she was still a kid. So now the whole internet had to sit with one question. Who you rocking with? The sister screaming on TMZ about 20, 500, or the multiple siblings? The mama's own grateful text messages and a whole police report that tells a very, very different story. The fallout and the bigger picture. Now, once this whole receipts war popped off on the timeline, the hip-hop world couldn't help but jump dead in the middle of it. And I mean everybody, rappers, bloggers, podcasters, regular folks on their lunch break, everybody was choosing sides, and the hot takes were coming in from every single direction. But what went down next took this from a family situation to a full-blown industry circus that nobody could scroll past. First one to jump in the ring, finesse 2 times. Memphis bred, same soil as Glorilla. He actually ran it up with her at that 2023 concert in Rochester. So when he saw Victoria wilding out on every platform, he hopped on his Instagram stories and told her straight up to STFU and went on a whole sermon about getting off your behind and going to get your own bag instead of sitting around waiting on somebody else's check to clear. He told her every hood, every city, every town in America got opportunities if you really want it, and she need to stop riding her little sister's wave expecting a payout. Now, Victoria Shoddy was not about to let that slide. Not even a little bit. She went live and cooked finesse from the ground up. She came at his whole career switch from rapper to streamer, violated his body, clowned his girl FNG Shug, who was sitting behind bars, and even went at his kid. That was foul on every level, but she did not care one bit. We know you got to scream for your beans. We know this. But why am I the topic? You supposed to be getting that build-looking ass out of jail. Why is you worried about what the toy you're talking about? Now I'm starting to see what your sibling's talking about. Oh, you need to go get a deduction while you get tummy tucks. How much was your tummy too? Because I need one too. I need one too. How much is a help? Help a we both. How much was your mother? I need one still in jail. You ain't my bail, but you want to talk about me. The rest of the rap game was eating popcorn watching this whole thing go down. Freddie Gibbs was on the internet dying, laughing, posting, "Man, I love Memphis," with a whole row of emojis while the game backed up what Finesse was saying about getting your own bread and not acting entitled to somebody else's grind. The whole internet was treating this like pay-per-view. And honestly, it was hard to blame anybody because fresh content was dropping literally every hour on the hour. But the twist that had the entire internet on the floor, That came when Tory Lanez, who is locked up behind bars right now for shooting Megan Thee Stallion, Gorilla's own homegirl and collaborator, slid Victoria the exact $500 she'd been crying about from Glorilla. And Victoria posted that bread online, thanking Lane in front of everybody while also saying she was scared of retaliation from Glorilla's people. Fam, the irony of pocketing money from the dude who shot your sister's close friend and collaborator. The internet was not letting that go. People went in on her for that, and it only solidified what everybody was already thinking. This whole thing was never really about family love. It was about clout, cash, and attention. Period. Through all this chaos, Victoria seemed to at least acknowledge that the bridge was burned for good. In her interview, she kept it a buck and admitted the damage was done. I don't think it's going to be for gang. It went too far. It went too far. I went too far. Went on social media, and it went too far for her for how long it took, because now I feel like you doing it because you embarrassed. Is it just words that make it too far gone? I went against my sister on TMZ. It ain't no coming back for me, and I'm prepared to not be worse, though. It ain't no comeback. And even if I would be scared to go around her. Even it was come because I'm think you got something up your sleeve. It ain't no comeback for me. And their mama. Oh, she was hot. Not at Glorilla, though. She was heated at Victoria for putting the whole family's business out in the streets for millions of strangers to pick through and judge. Right. My mom mad at me right now. She mad with you. She mad. She's very upset. Really? So she ain't talking to you at all? Damn, not at all. She did say a few things, but she mad. They gotta let her calm down a little bit. I think she about that FedEx store. Now, here's the thing that makes this whole situation hit different. Because if we being real, both sides got points that you can't just wave off. Victoria ain't completely wrong when she talks about how it feels to watch somebody you grew up with in the same busted crib, sleeping on the same floor, eating the same struggle meals, watching that person become a whole millionaire, while you still can't make rent. That's a real feeling that a lot of people from the trenches understand on a deep personal level, because the struggle was so hard. I'm talking about like it was, bro, about you see a red running through the hallway, pregnant one, you already sleeping on the floor. Imagine lights being off, ballers having to take baths and bottles of water. Imagine it. And you make it out just to leave us behind. But when you throw in that 2015 situation where Victoria allegedly pulled a pole on a 16-year-old gorilla, plus the robbery allegations, the setups, the snitching, and the fact that multiple siblings are on record, saying Glow absolutely does hold the family down. It gets real hard to paint Glorilla as the bad guy in this movie. The internet was split clean down the middle. Some folks felt Victoria's pain about watching wealth get distributed unevenly, seeing it as a real conversation about how getting famous tears families apart, especially in Black communities where making it out comes with heavy expectations. But the majority called Victoria entitled and straight-up opportunistic, especially after she pocketed that Tory Lanez bread with no shame whatsoever. And so you don't care if y'all ever talk again, speak again? It won't going to happen anyway. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, but no, it ain't this, it's over with for that. We might as well not even say we siblings no more, to be honest. It went too far. But it got to that breaking point because of, you know what I'm saying? Everybody look me to be a monster because it got to that point. And that right there might be the most gut-wrenching part of this whole ordeal. A family that came up together through the worst conditions you can think of. Bonded by poverty, bonded by struggle, bonded by surviving when the odds said they shouldn't. Now ripped apart beyond repair because of bread, pride, and the cold, unforgiving nature of the internet. Once you take your family's name to TMZ and air everything out, there really ain't no putting that toothpaste back in the tube. It's a wrap. The careers, the controversies, and the real ones left standing. Now, if you really want to understand why this family beef cuts so deep, you got to know who Glorilla is, where she came from, and every single thing she's had to dodge and weave through on her way to the top. Because Shotti's life has been one trial after another, one obstacle after the next. And the fact that she's still out here winning, still dropping heat, still touring, still building, that tells you everything you need to know about the type of person she is underneath all the music and the fame. Glorilla was born Gloria Hallelujah Woods in 1999 out in Memphis, Tennessee, the 8th of 10 kids raised in a big struggling household in the Fraser neighborhood. If you know Fraser, you know that's the bottom. That's the mud. Her mama been clocking in at FedEx for over 2 decades. Her pops held down different gigs until he retired. The family was raised super strict under heavy Christian values. Homeschooled all the way up until 5th grade because their mama wasn't trying to have them out in the world too early. Is it true that you were homeschooled until the 5th grade? Why? Because my mama wanted us to, she didn't want us to be of the world. That's what she used to say. She wanted to keep us like, my mama was like, she is super Christian, and so yeah. She ain't want us to be in the world. I guess a super Christian. Yeah. Was it just you, a regular Christian? I feel like my mama like my mama go to churches as many times the church open. My mama there. If she could be there 7 days a week, she going to be there. Gorilla's whole life changed in 2022 when FNF Let's Go went stupid viral and she ended up signing with Yo Gotti's collective music group. After that, it was up. Collabs with Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Performance, and by 2026, she's sitting on an estimated $5 to $10 million. She made it a point to reach back too. Blessing her pops with a Jaguar when he retired, sliding her mama $500, Euros and a Mercedes-Benz, and moving siblings down to Atlanta with housing and real opportunities to build. That's what making it out and putting your people on actually looks like. But the road to where she's at now, man, it's been full of potholes, speed bumps, and straight-up roadblocks. Controversy been on Gorilla's heels at every turn, testing her in ways that would have folded most people. March 2023, one of the darkest moments tied to her career. A deadly stampede broke out after her concert with Finesse 2 times at Rochester's Main Street Armory. Somebody started a false rumor about gunshots as fans were filing out. Mass panic set in, and 3 women, Rondia Belton, Brandy Miller, and Aisha Haskins Stevens, lost their lives. Multiple others got hurt bad. Cops confirmed, ain't nobody fire a single shot. It was all overcrowding and terrible venue management. The city yanked the venue's license and a gang of lawsuits got filed against Glorilla, the venue, security companies, and the city itself. Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump stepped in for one of the victims' families, calling the whole thing completely preventable. Glorilla was devastated, posted prayers for the victims, but the whole tragedy opened up a massive conversation about who's really responsible when something like that goes down at a show. Then, in August 2024, she caught heat for using an ableist term in one of her song snippets. She changed the lyric quick and people gave her props for being responsive, but it still kicked off a whole debate about where the line is between artistic expression and cultural sensitivity in hip-hop. July 2025, things got real. A home invasion went down at her crib in Forsyth County, Georgia, while she was away performing at the WNBA All-Star Weekend out in Indy. 3 strapped-up intruders ran up in the house while her brother and sister were there. A family member let off shots. The intruders dipped, but when police came through with a search warrant, they found a stash of marijuana in the master bedroom and hit Glorilla with felony drug possession charges. She turned herself in, posted $22, $260 bond, and her lawyer called the whole situation unconscionable, pointing out how law enforcement had drug warrants ready within 24 hours, but was dragging their feet on the actual burglary where over $700 in valuables got stolen. That whole situation raised major red flags about how the system treats Black celebrities when they're supposed to be the victims. And that ain't even all of it. A copyright lawsuit dropped in November 2024, accusing Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and Soulja Boy of jacking Ply's 2008 joint Me and My Goons through sampling on Wannabe and its remix. Then in September 2025, a leaked jail call from Young Thug surfaced where he was talking reckless about her looks, and Glorilla responded with a whole diss track aimed at him and Mariah the Scientist that lit up a whole conversation about misogyny in the rap game that's still going on to this day. Now, as for Victoria Scarface Woods, her story is just as messy, just as complicated, and honestly just as sad in a lot of ways. Before the February 2026 explosion, Victoria had been mostly off the radar. She's an aspiring rapper herself, been putting out tracks under the Scarface Woods name, and she says she was actually the first one in the family to pick up the pen before Glorilla ever thought about rapping. I'm the one started rapping first. She followed after me. She just pushed through with it. What made you not want to pursue it? Because, I never got to a studio. I was the one my mama would find in the rap books and stuff. I was the one rapping first. She wanted to rap after me, but I don't think about it, she pursued. But Victoria's track record goes way beyond sibling rivalry over bars. Outside of the 2015 arrest for allegedly pulling a gun on Glorilla, her own siblings went on record accusing her of running setups on Glorilla, putting the cops on their mama with lies, and bringing sketchy people into the family home who ended up robbing the place. And in the interview, Victoria even let it slip that she's currently rocking a GPS ankle monitor, which means she got her own legal issue she's dealing with on top of all this drama. So we know my phone kept on ringing. So, I'm on a GPS monitor, right? No, I didn't know that. Yeah, because I ain't got this little thing with my, somebody talking to. Since the beef went public, Victoria been trying to flip the cloud into a music career under the Scarface Woods brand, even dropping diss tracks aimed at Glorilla. But that play has backfired something terrible. Instead of building a fan base, the internet done labeled her as a snake, a hater, and somebody who will burn bridges for a check. The Tory Lanez money stunt made it 10 times worse, and Finesse 2 times even pulled up old footage of Victoria herself getting caught slipping after an alleged robbery attempt, which completely destroyed any moral high ground she was trying to stand on. At the end of the day, this whole saga is really about something way bigger than two sisters beefing on the net. It's about what happens when one person breaks out of generational poverty and everybody else is still trapped in the same cycle. It's about the impossible weight that fame puts on family ties that were already hanging by a thread. And it's about that question that don't nobody have a clean answer to when you make it out the mud. How much do you owe the people you left behind? Especially when some of those people have done you dirty in ways that cut deeper than any diss track ever could. Glorilla's silence through most of this says more than any rant ever could. She let the receipts talk for her. Let her real ones defend the name and kept her eyes on the prize. The music, the career, the legacy, and Victoria. She's left standing with a fractured family, a mama who ain't picking up the phone, and an internet that already made up its mind about who the real snake in the grass is. Make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. Tell me what y'all think below. Does Glorilla owe her family more, or is Victoria dead wrong for all of this? Put me on and tap that video right there for more heat.